Hey everyone, I have here the new LEGO Marvel Iron Man, the big one. This represents the first try of LEGO and yet another style of large action figures, the most recent of which was the character and creature building system, which yielded things like this, which I bring into frame just to show you the scale and to show you that they are indeed going for almost the exact same scale as they did, if not the same scale as they did for that. But the new one is, of course, based primarily on brick-based stuff. So system-based stuff. It does still have some of the large action figure sized ball joints and some larger Technic ratcheting joints as well. But all of the pieces, almost all of the pieces, do have studs on them. And that allows it to be built in a more traditional way. You know, many just regular system stud-based sets these days do have a lot of Technic mechanisms in them and a lot of Technic framing, and this feels similar to that. It doesn't feel like a Technic figure with some system stuff on the outside. It feels all integrated together. I am still not a superheroes super fan, but if I'm not mistaken, this is trying to represent a Mark 43 design from the MCU and specifically the Ultron campaign. This uses a combination of obviously dark red, but then drum lacquered gold, like you see over here, where it's actually nice and shiny, and stickered gold representation that's kind of like a champagne gold color, but has almost no metallic nature to it. And then pearl gold, which you can see right here, and again in here, and also dark tan. So if you come down here, you see some dark tan, a little bit of regular tan as well, and then some gray underneath. The gray is fine, but you know, we do mix back and forth between a bunch of different representations of the gold. The build of this was pretty straightforward. It didn't take too long. There aren't too many pieces. There is some color inconsistency in between different batches of the drum lacquered gold in particular, the best stuff there. So just by coincidence, you can see that this one right here is a little bit less saturated. This one's a little bit more orangish. Same thing over here. Did not intend for that to be the case, just how it turned out. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better there, but this is like almost closer to copper compared to this being more of a platinum look to exaggerate the differences there. There are a lot of stickers on this. I do find that these stickers look really good with the gold color from some angles when the light hits it just right. See, that's almost a perfect match. From that angle right there, that's really good. But as soon as I turn it, okay, that's not a match. I turn it like this, well, that's not a match either. So that does stand out. That's my favorite thing in the whole thing because that's iridescent. It's a inverted tile piece, 2x2, and it's iridescent with the nice glittery effect inside of it. And they've got a couple more of those around the back for the thrusters here, which you can pull up to get a little more interesting look. And it's supposed to expand out a little bit. I wish that those were on arms a little bit longer. More stickers back here. Those are actually optional because, you know, much of the time you're not going to see the detail from around the back. But that button right there is for a light. There's a light brick embedded into this standard yellow one. And if I turn that around, shines yellow. It tries to go through a trans light blue brick to give it a little bit of tint, and it doesn't work. It just comes out yellow. I hope that at some point they'll come out with a nice light blue colored version of the light brick because they've got this yellow, they've got the red. They don't have anything as a cool color and they could really use it. The designer did the best that they could here. I applaud the effort. This is a new piece as far as I know. It's new to me, used for the head. Now the head itself is printed, thank goodness. As well it should be. But you can see that piece is the same design that's used for the shoulders. Speaking of the shoulders are interesting and probably what I like least about this model because they are false shoulders. These are like pauldron pieces that are independent. The actual ball joint for the shoulder, for the upper arm, is in the middle of the chest almost, which is awkward to me. From a distance, you don't really see it. Right, this actually looks very, very respectable right there. But when it gets to actually moving stuff around, which I'll show you the articulation possibilities for this, then it just feels weird. It almost feels like it was intended to be a four-armed torso. This does use an updated version of socket joints. I don't know exactly what they changed there, but they do feel good to me. It does have some some friction on there, but not too much. Hopefully it'll just be more consistent these days. But yeah, you got the ball joints for the shoulders, and they give you a decent range of motion there. The pauldrons don't move all that much, but enough to get out of the way, to get a few more degrees. You might be able to get even a little bit more than, yeah, there we go, a little bit more than that, so that's good. The elbow is not going to allow you to extend the arm all the way. There's a stopper there, but it's on just a single axis joint, opens up right in the middle, which is a little bit awkward. It's kind of a Pac-Man sort of thing going on there, but it is usable and useful range of motion. I can kind of bring this across the chest a little bit, not fully. There are some limitations there. The wrist is good. The wrist is on a ball joint. It's a Mixel style ball joint, so that can get all around. It has plenty of room to move. You also have, again, the iridescent piece used here, and the fingers are pretty good. They have a good range of motion, so you can get some different good poses with those. The head is on just a Mixel's ball joint, which feels very small and thin, and well, it just feels like too little, but it does its job. It feels a little bit loose, but it definitely does its job to give you a nice range of motion. It just, when you see it, it's hard to avoid noticing just how skinny it is and how awkwardly out of scale it is. Down here, well, got ball joints for the hips, and those allow you to go way forward and way back, and then ratcheted joints for the knees. Yep, working knees, that's good. This gets you to about 90 degrees there. You can also extend it forward ever so slightly. I'm starting to push pieces apart, but I can bring that out so I can actually hyperextend, which is not a good thing, but better to have too much as long as it's still able to hold itself up. Ball joint down here with limited articulation mostly allows it to move side to side this way, which is good and useful. And you can twist it around a little bit, go forward and back a little bit. What I didn't mention here with the knees, that's also able to rotate this way, so you can kick up like that. Do some weird. Oops, that was entirely my fault. You can do some weird stuff with that. It gives you some more. I'm just going being a little bit impatient here, but it does allow you to do some more things. Fortunately, this does have a stopper on it, so it's not pulling that ball joint off, but you can bring this in. Just, yeah. Again, more is better as long as the thing is still able to stand up. So I've been messing with this a bunch. If I wanted to stand right now, got limitation for upward motion of the ankle as usual, which is the main limitation that Lego stuff has. But let me see if I can just get this to stay as it is right now, and I can. See, that's good. That's what I want out of an action figure. I want to be able to mess with it a bunch and then just put it onto the ground and have it stay there just like that. That is what I consider to be kind of the benchmark for basic non-frustrating playability and posability with an action figure. I'm not feeling like I have to be frustrated. I'm not feeling like I have to be careful here to make this do exactly what it's supposed to do. See, I did no fidgeting back here with this, even though this foot is not on the ground at all. I didn't do anything to it. Let me see if I can get this. So what I really should do is have this more forward. See if I can get him to look like he's leaning. Is there something that will allow this to work? I cannot believe. If this works, holy heck. I did not think that could possibly work. It's balanced, right? It's not perfect, but look at that. That is definitely some of the best articulation, usable articulation and stability that we've ever gotten from a Lego bipedal build. This is actually surprising me because I played around with this a little bit, but not a lot. I wanted to save my genuine impression. No way. Genuine first-time impressions for the most part to capture on camera and just getting the weight lined up in a reasonable space. I wouldn't want to leave it like this on a shelf, but I almost feel like I can. Maybe just a little bit more adjustment and I can. This is very impressive. One last thing I want to try to do that's just silly. I want to see if I can get him onto a knee. I can't believe I'm doing all this together. No, that's probably not going to work, is it? No, there's just not quite enough room here. Not quite. Yeah, it's a little bit, oh yeah. Waist articulation, very nice. Uses a ball joint inside of there. Not the first time they've done that, but it's good. Yeah, okay, can't quite make that work. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to have happen that thus far that has not been able to happen. This is actually very good. This is actually surprisingly good. So after having it completely wonky, yeah, and he's standing. It's not balanced just right. He's leaning back a little bit. Fix that. There, it's back to standing. That's very good. Complaints? Minimal. One of the best experiences I've had to date doing that with Lego action figures. Better than many non-Lego action figures, in fact. Pretty nice. Oh, look at that. I was right. It is trying to be a Mark 43 suit. Haha, I forgot about this. I left it in my build room, but it's just a little UCS style plaque, but smaller. 2 pieces were used for this. It's just the ramp piece and then a little bracket on the back to hold it up and then a large sticker. All right, just adds a little something extra for display. And finally, these are the leftover pieces, almost nothing there. And this is what the sticker sheet looks like after it's all used up. That's a lot of stickers. It's a lot of stickers for the relatively small number of pieces. Again, fortunately, most of these I feel are optional. If you hate stickers, you can leave off most, but at least a few of them are pretty important. Now, I paid $40 for this US. That feels like a lot to me for just an action figure. Yeah, it's a big one, but it's not like it's a high-end collectible model. But when I looked at other stuff that's available on the market right now, consider that this is a almost 10-inch, no, it is a 10-inch tall model. Lego actually calls it 9 inches in their own description, but it's 10 inches tall. We could probably extend just a little bit more out of it than that. Compare it to like the price of a 6-inch action figure that you don't build from Hasbro or whatnot, which would be about there, and the total bulk of stuff here, and consider the fact that this is made from a whole bunch of pieces and tends to be higher quality plastics as well. Yeah, you don't get the detail, you don't get the collector level appearance of it, the shelf appearance, but I think there is something special about it being Lego and it being made of parts that you can take apart and use to do all sorts of other things. There's value in that for sure. I really don't think that I can honestly, with a straight face, in a non-clickbait way, say that this is overpriced on the market today by more than about $5. I could see this being $35. I would feel much better about it. 40, yeah, it's stretching it. I don't know if we'll be able to find this on sale. I would love to see it on sale for even just a little bit. But I think the value here is pretty good. And for a first effort of this entirely new design, this entirely new style of a large action figure, it works really well. That impressed me a little bit too much. It was almost uncomfortable how much it was impressing me because I was looking for flaws and I was expecting to dislike some stuff. But the designer did a very good job, and I'm sure worked with multiple designers together because they're surely going to try to do, if this is successful on the market, they'll try to do more. They probably have more designed already. They're just deciding based on the sales performance of this, whether they will bring more of them actually out. But based on what I see here as a physical product, I think they should try. We'll see. We'll see how well it does. Let me know what you think about the value, the price in particular, compared to other things on the market. And, feel free to compare it also to Lego's previous attempts at large action figures, which had a totally different build, a totally different number of pieces, and were mostly not nearly this solid in appearance, even when they started to bring in extra pieces to try to really, cover the bones underneath and stuff. This is just way more solid, except for those elbows. Even those somehow kind of try to manage to hide away from most angles just how empty and Pac-Man open mouth that really is. Good stuff. Good start. Looking forward to seeing more. Also looking forward to your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.